Hello, I am Kym, and this here is Pigeon, and Will is behind the computer controlling everything. Welcome to Pajama Yin Yoga. I see there are 3 of you tuned in right now. Thanks for joining me. Uh, this I love having this free and accessible for anyone to just drop into. It's only sustainable with people's active support, and we'll cover that at the end. In the meanwhile, if you joined early and you're foam rolling, feel free to continue to do so throughout this intro. You might also use this time to finish setting up. I won't be playing music on my end of the camera, but you are welcome to on yours. I think everyone should have lots of props, as many props as you can have available to you. Some of the things that I think are pretty basic are having soft, flexible props, such as yoga mats. I'm a big fan of having blankets. Towels also work. And then thicker, soft props, such as pillows. And then stiffer props, I've got yoga blocks and foam rollers. Books and Tupperware also work. And then other examples of props that I don't have here because it doesn't fit in this frame, but hopefully you have available to you, are chairs, footstools, straps, balls, other fitness equipment. Anything around you can turn into a prop. So the benefit of doing this practice on YouTube is not being distracted by watching each other. I'm here just enough to give you a little guidance, but after that, you are free to run with this. I can't see what weird modifications you choose to do. You are 100% free. I trust you to do whatever you need to do in this time. And then you also can't get distracted by watching other people and worrying about what you're doing compared to what they're doing. Yet we've also set aside this time for this practice, and I will mark the time and keep us moving. Today, we'll begin with a short movement flow and then follow that with a seated meditation. Tonight, we'll do 3 yin postures before final relaxation. You are always welcome to choose a substitute of a posture, exercise, or meditation of your choice. And then there's always a transition time between yin postures for movement or stillness of your choice. During this time, there's no right position or correct alignment of traditional poses because there's no force applied, and there is no progression goal. We're not trying to get anywhere or achieve anything with these postures. For each yin posture, I'll suggest several different setups to suggest lines of fascial tension, that connective tissue in your body. I will begin with very few props and then add more props and more variations. While I demonstrate, it's a really good time for you to explore different propping and different setups and different ways to get in and out of the posture, even if you've done it many times before. When I'm done with the demonstration, I'll return to a seated position to watch the time for 2 to 3 minutes. The posture you land in for that time should feel safe to let go of all muscular tension and holding, that your muscles are neither pushing you into the posture nor resisting the posture, so that you can experience quiet sensations in your body. This is a practice of patience, stillness, and subtlety. Let's begin. So I'm going to start on my thick pad for my knees. And we're just going to do a little flow for the ankles and feet at the moment. So I want to start by feeling a little stretch in possibly the tops of the knees, through the shins, tops of the ankles, possibly through the toes. And you might feel that just with your hands on the ground, and that might be enough. And if you don't feel anything there, you want to find a little more gentle stretch, you might come up, you might sit further back, You might even lift the knees off the ground. And then we're going to come out of that stretch and we're going to switch the stretch to the sole of the foot by tucking the toes. And just tucking the toes here with my hands on the ground might be plenty. I might feel a nice stretch. You might notice the direction of your heels will change where the stretch is in your foot. So paying attention to where that is. And then if you're feeling like this is not enough intensity, you want to make it a little more intense, and remember, just keep it nice and gentle. You might bring it hands to knees, thighs, or sitting further back. So we'll flow between these postures really gently, just taking a round of breath, finding your stretch. Exhale, inhale, and then using that exhale to transition. Inhale, exhale, transition. Inhale, exhale, transition. Inhale. And then just flowing at your own pace on your own breath. You might choose to take an extra round of breath to allow yourself a little more time to move. Or you might keep it at a pretty flowing pace, not staying anywhere for very long. And taking another round or so, allowing yourself to finish whenever you feel ready. And then take a little wiggle when you're ready, as a little extension maybe, a little break. And then we're going to start in that toe tucked position with your hands on the ground. And from here, I'm going to arch my back, lift my chest, lift the tailbone, let the belly expand towards the ground. And then I'm going to lift my knees, press into the ground, round my back. Go as far back as you're comfortable. Let the head tuck. And transitioning between these postures, arching the back, knees rest on the ground, dropping the heels towards the floor, rounding the back, and then flowing on your own breath. Waving through the spine, rocking through the ankles. Taking another round or two. Then again, taking any transition that you need. And then for this next one, I'm going to come to standing on my feet with a soft bend in my knees, round back, letting my head hang, letting my arms hang. And you might hang at different places. So wherever you are, just a gentle stretch through the bottom of the feet, the back of the knees, the glutes along the spine. Really make sure you're letting your head hang. If I open my eyes, I'm looking between my knees. And then from here, I'm going to engage the glutes and engage the back of the legs to begin to straighten the legs, and then length through the spine, crown of my head reaching forward. You might just let the arms hang down, or you might bring the hands to the thighs, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Then softening the knees, rounding the back, letting the head hang. Exhale to transition. Inhale when you arrive. Flowing at your own pace. Taking another round or two. And then when you're ready, I'm just coming back to the ground, and we'll be getting ready for our seated meditation. For our seated meditation, you want to be as comfortable as possible. So, while not falling asleep, as comfortable as possible without being fully reclined and falling asleep. So, a chair is a perfectly acceptable place to meditate. You can sit sort of forward on the edge of your chair with your feet flat on the ground and a tall upright spine. If you're on the floor, you might sit with your legs extended, or you might sit with the legs crossed or the legs folded. In either case, sitting up on something is a wise choice. So elevating the hips and possibly propping underneath the knees or the ankles, or wherever you need a little extra support, can give you a little more comfortable upright posture. So however you want to be. Making those adjustments. Finding a posture that you can feel safe to be in, that you know that even if you get fidgety, you are not in danger. So settling in. Finding stillness. And while you are still, notice the movement of your breath. Things will pull at your attention. It might be the urge to fidget or move. It might be thoughts or feelings. It might be things in your environment or things on my end of the camera. We practice being aware without responding. They will pass. Just gently bring your attention back to your breath. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Nod your chin towards your chest. Opening your eyes and reintroducing movement. Rolling shoulders over your neck. Perhaps some side bends. Or twists. Maybe extending the legs. So for this first yin posture, we're going to be looking to feel lines of fascial stretch through the abdomen, through the chest, through the shoulders, possibly through the arms, possibly through the throat. Depends on how you choose to set up and where you choose to put the emphasis. If I were to use no props at all other than the padding underneath my knees, I'm going to have roughly hips over knees, extending my arms out. That position in itself is very possibly either too much or not enough. Remember, we want to find a position that feels very safe, very comfortable to stay in for at least 2 minutes. So in some cases, I might choose to prop myself up. Actually, go there. So if I prop my chest, and then at this point, my head would hang down, and if that felt comfortable, we could go with that. But I might also go here, and then I might not have my arms fully extended. I might just let them rest with a little bend, and I could go forehead on the support or chin. Just depends on what feels right for you. We want to find long lines of stretch, of gentle stretch, and I might adjust the knee position. And then you can have all sorts of variations. I could add extra props underneath my arms, change the level, change the objects. And then another option is to actually make this a little more intense. And in this case, I'm going to put my arms on the foam roller. And I've got my palms facing each other. Palms down versus palms together will change the stretch slightly. So I could just hang out here, but again, in this case, I don't want to have to be holding my head up. So again, I'm going to add a prop for my head. And then I personally like having my palms facing each other, but it's hard to keep them that way. And I just sort of feel like with my hands dangling, it's hard for me to really relax. So just gently putting something between my hands feels more comfortable and just more secure for me. So get into different positions, try different propping, take several breaths there, and then adjust. Take a couple breaths and see if it feels gentle enough. If you get set up and it feels pretty intense right from the start, it's probably too much. You can add a little more support, make some adjustments to make the sensation feel pretty soft to begin with. Generally, as we stay and as you let the muscles relax, other intensities sort of show up. You want to leave room for things to shift and change and to just find areas of greater depth without trying. So hopefully you found your place and can cease the fidgeting. Let the eyes soften. And settle into your breath. allowing for change, gently letting go of chronic tension, letting go of what isn't actually necessary, being open to new sensations arising. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Feeling your breath in this place that you have landed. And then gently, very gently, finding your way out. One piece at a time, very gradually coming out. And you might choose to really curl up into a ball, or you might choose to lie on your belly, or you might choose some more active movements. Okay, so with that transition done, we're going to get set up for our next yin posture. In this one, we're going to aim for the other side of your body. Before we were sort of opening in the front, and now, well, actually, we're just going to do the front in the lower half. So before it was sort of ribs and up, and now we're going to go ribs and down for the front of the body. So we're going to do one side at a time. We're going to be in a supported bridge, and I'm actually just going to slide that out of the way. So minimally, you need something to lift your hips. So if we were doing just the basic bridge with both legs, I'd take any stiff prop, lift my hips, and then put the prop underneath my sacrum, my tailbone, so as low as you can get it, not on the lower spine so that the hips aren't supported. Fully support those hips. And if I was doing both legs, I'd extend both legs and get an opening primarily through the front of my hips, and then extending up and down from there. In many cases, I find this is too intense and really rotates my pelvis and puts more stress on the spine. We really want to feel a long line and very gentle stretch. So doing one leg at a time, I find, is really nice. And so I can do that simply by bending one knee, or I might grab that knee. And if lifting the leg feels good, but the grab feels too far away, then just grabbing a blanket or a strap, or even clothing, just to make that reach more accessible. And then I'm a big fan of using other furniture. And in this case, I have the bookshelf, but who knows, maybe you have a doorway or a wall
different kinds of ways to do this. So I like setting up so that I've got, there we go, my leg is just supported here. And then I don't have to hold my leg. My arms can be free to be in different positions. And I might choose here to do a variety of options as well. So I could really bring my foot as low as possible. And this is sort of on this side now, it looks sort of like a squat. Or I might extend the leg up. Other options involve tucking the stretched leg. And in this case, I would have, it's too far away, one of my soft props that I have now pushed too far away. This one is pigeon, so I won't move this one. But I would tuck this leg under as another option to extend the front body stretch on this side. And then you can always change the level of the support underneath the hips. And change where you put your arms. So making your setups, perhaps grabbing things in other places in your room or your space. And then hopefully you found your spot where you will be today. And then allow yourself to sink into the floor. Trust your props. Find your breath. You may feel tension creep back in. Come back to your breath and find softness. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. And then using these breaths, active breaths, gently coming out. With your feet firmly on the ground, squeeze the glutes, press your feet into the floor to gently lift your hips. Slide the support object out. Slowly lower your hips to the ground. And from here, you can just lie in stillness notice the effects, or you might take more active counter pose and movement. And I will do a fairly short demonstration on my other side, just as a quick review. And then you can set up, as you set up your other side, recognize it might need very different things. It is very, very normal for one side to be very different than the other side. And while in strength training and other things, we're really making a point to strive for symmetry and to create more symmetry, this is not one of those times. It's okay. If this side needs a different setup, let it have a different setup. So lying on my back, lifting my hips, propping underneath my hips, and then just having one leg extended, finding that openness in the hip and that line moving down towards the knee and up towards the hip, or up towards the ribs. And then you might just hang out here or just change the arm position. Might pick up the other leg. You might play with the height of the support or the particular placement of it. Play with different angles. So go ahead and get yourself nice and settled in a place that you feel you can trust. And once you're there, allow yourself to melt. Comfortable breaths, sending the signal that all those places that work so hard can release. Lengthening and deepening breath. And using these deep, active breaths, reintroducing movement and strength as you release, you get both feet firmly planted so that you can gently engage and lift the hips to clear the object. And then again, taking any transition that calls to you. We'll get ready for our last posture. Pigeon has apparently decided there's been too much movement today. She's sitting over on the radiator. Pigeon, did you want to come back for the last bit? Come on over. People like you more than me. There we go. Pigeon, how about right here? So, or not. So for our last Yin posture, we'll be hitting multiple areas of the body. We'll be getting the glutes, the outer hips, possibly the inner thighs, sort of just depends on your body. So I'm going to have one leg folded out in front and one leg extended back. And in this case, I'm just going to add a little padding underneath that back knee. And then this front leg might be more kicked out, sorry pigeon, or more tightly folded. You might play with the ankle position. And then once you're in this position, you're going to allow yourself to fold forward as far as is comfortable for you. And as you fold forward, you might discover that you don't have a lot to fold forward or it feels just too intense. So if I had a footstool or a larger thing I could rest on, that might be really nice to rest on something higher. I might also add a lot of padding underneath hips in various ways. Put that block underneath there to give it more support. And you might have even more bigger pillows underneath the hips, more support underneath the head. You can decide where you want the arms. And then you might even decide to go off to one side or the other. You might choose to be more upright, as long as once you're in that position, we're really hanging out in as much passive bone structure and letting gravity just take you, that we're not trying to stay, even if you choose to be up on your hands, that we're not actively staying lifted throughout. So, getting yourself comfortably supported. You feel a satisfying, gentle stretch. Letting go of all tension in your jaw, in your toes, in your pelvis.
Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Using these breaths to help you savor where you have landed or help you reintroduce movement. Exploring movement gently and slowly. Taking any transition that feels right for you. Could be curling up into a ball. Could be lying flat on the floor. And when you're ready, setting up the other side. There we go. And as always, this side might be drastically different or only a little different. You might just want to try something different. Exploring different places. And where it feels best for you. The angles that feel right in your body, that feel that you're hitting nice lines of needed release. Finding whatever support. Taking your time to make those adjustments. And then really taking the time to enjoy the stillness. A time where there is nothing to do other than breathe. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. And coming up and out. We'll be getting ready for our final relaxation. So if you're craving a little extra movement, you need to get a little more vigorous strength and stretch in there before you lie down, that's great. If you just want to get into a relaxed position sooner or want more time to get that set up, go for it right now. So in our relaxed place, you can just lie down fully on your back. You might choose to have the pillows underneath your knees or your knees bent and together. You might choose some support underneath your low back or underneath your neck or something covering the eyes. Or you might choose to unravel one of your blankets and tuck up underneath it, nice and cozy. Wherever you are, getting nice and comfortable. Lying in a comfortable position, fully supported. Feeling your breath come easy. Imagine a small ball of white light floating above your head. Wherever this light touches or passes through, it spreads a feeling of peace, of comfort, of ease. Watch as this light descends into your midbrain. It slides into your throat and into your chest. Wherever this light touches or passes through, spreading sensations of peace, of comfort, of ease. Watch the light slide towards your right shoulder, right elbow, wrist, thumb, first finger, second, third, fourth. It slides through the palm of your hand to your wrist, elbow, shoulder, chest. Watch it slide to your left shoulder, left elbow, wrist, thumb, first finger, second, third, fourth. Slides through the palm of your hand to your wrist, elbow, shoulder, chest. Watch it as it slides down through your abdomen towards your navel, into your pelvis, to your tailbone. sliding over to your right hip, right knee, ankle, big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth. Slide through the sole of your foot to your ankle, knee, hip, tailbone. Slides to your left hip, left knee, ankle, big toe, second toe, third, fourth, fifth. Slides through the sole of your foot to your ankle, knee, hip, tailbone. Watching it slide up through your pelvis, behind your navel, through your abdomen, into your chest, through your throat, behind your eyes, resting in your midbrain. Everything at ease, including your breath. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. Using that breath to reintroduce movement, spreading fingers and toes, squeezing fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles, stretching out long and big on the floor before curling into a tight ball. Rolling onto your side, using your arms to help you sit up gently and slowly. We'll conclude with 3 breaths together. Together, in through the nose, exhale out the mouth, in through the nose, one more. Thank you to the 5 of you who are here. YouTube just gives me a number. All Will and I see is that there are 5. It's really wonderful to know who was on the other end of the camera. I'd love it if you just drop a hello in the live chat. And then we can only continue doing this with active support from people who appreciate this practice. So there are 3 ways you can support us and let us know that this is worth continuing. One is simply communicate. Communicate your appreciation and engagement. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and message us there, like us there. You can join our mailing list through our website. And then you can tell people about it in whichever format works for you. And then lastly, just shoot me an email. It's kym@zested.net. Just let me know what your experience is like. It's really meaningful to me to know what's happening for you, and it just really helps me craft these programs. So the other one is you can donate. You can donate. Even just $5 makes a difference, and more if it feels you feel moved to. That's paypal.me/zested. And then to keep this going, we have sustaining members through Patreon. So for just $10 a month, you help keep this going and make it free and accessible for yourself and for other people. Patreon members get extra bonus stuff. What it is, we'll see. Just before doing this, we filmed some extra stuff that Patreon members will get, but members are welcome to let me know what's going to make it worth it for you. So thank you. We are grateful for you. Have a peaceful night. Pigeon, want to say goodnight? Pidgey.